Purnam idam Purnat Purnam Achudyate Purnasya Purnadadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Namaste.
Namaste, everybody.
We are back again on yet another episode of PraMonA, and this time the topic is messages from the universe. Spirituality, as I've said earlier, is to be in connection, in touch with consciousness, the super high self, all the time. And when we are in that mode of being in touch or connected with consciousness, we are constantly getting messages and we are getting information and wisdom from the source itself. It comes in many different forms. It comes in many different modalities. Different people are channels, mediums. They have different abilities to listen to these messages, to decipher them, to translate them, to understand them, to interpret them, and make sense out of it. They don't come in the spoken language that you and I understand normally, in any typical language of any kind. They come in the form of signs. They come in the form of intuition, in the form of sixth sense, in the form of visions, in the form of thoughts and ideas, and things that may appear or that are in fact abstract and can only be interpreted by someone whose chakras are wide open, balancing, and someone who is connected with the consciousness at a very high level. One such person, of course, is PraMonA. PraMonA.
Yes.
So today's topic, messages from the universe, is not something new for those of us who are on the path and we have had experiences either directly or indirectly. Either we have received messages, we know people who receive messages, we have dealt with channels and mediums and so on. So let's start by explaining what exactly do we mean when we say we get messages from the universe all the time.
Well, that's the thing, it's all the time, non-stop. We will never stop. The universe will always try to communicate with you. You just have to be open. And with me, for example, this start from my childhood. I had connection with God, with the source, and I was talking with him like a 5-7 years old kid who was putting question, and if you hear me, that kind of thing, if you hear me move that leaf from the tree.
And how would you know that it is coming from the source? I mean, do you hear
You
a
just
voice?
know.
Do you
No,
hear a voice?
no, you just know, because it's in that moment, it's that present moment, that reaction immediately of the universe in a synchronicity with your question. And you just, that was for me. I just knew it's like, oh, thank you. And I took the message and that was it.
So
I never questioned it.
as you said, it started for you when you were as young as 5-6 years old, and it has continued through your entire life up to now.
Of course.
So is it something that people are born with, this ability, or is it something that you develop over a period of time, or how exactly does one get this ability?
It might play for each and every one, because we all are different, and it might play different for us. For me, I was always being aware and conscious about it, but you just have to have an open heart, and I guess that's one of the path of spirituality. Something will happen in your life, maybe not pleasant most of the time, in which you know, that's the moment when your heart actually open and you start question, or you start listening, or you're so much open to what's around you and what is beyond the reality that you're perceiving.
And these messages that you get or that you're able to decipher, do they take the form of a vision, or are they in form of some kind of words that you hear? How exactly do you get this?
For me, it was mostly visions and dreams during the night when I was sleeping, and premonition, like about some certain thing or events that
Is going to
will
happen.
happen or going to happen. Exactly.
So let's talk about dreams a little bit. A lot of people are confused. In fact, many people, in fact, have dreams. I myself have dreams. We talk about it every morning.
Yeah.
And I used to interpret the dreams when I was younger, because I was a very vivid dreamer and I had very vivid dreams. I still do. But then I realized that there was no theme as such, or there was nothing to interpret. It was just the subconscious, which was reflecting itself in that deep state of sleep and coming up in the form of this dream, in the form of visions. What's your understanding of a dream? What does it mean?
For a person who actually dream a lot and remembers, it's really complicated to explain. Most of my dreams, I remember them, and they're such complex. It's not like the normal dream, or I was in the woods, or that kind of a fear that I have in real life and then happen in the state of the dream. It's it's like somewhere where sometimes you're on another planet and it seems like it's real, and you have the impression you know everybody over there. Sometimes you're surrounded with people you don't know, but you see perfectly colors, places, every small detail. And sometimes it's remembering of a past where you just know I'm aware that I'm sleeping, but I'm seeing that period of time and that experience in that moment, and it's like you're in two places at the same time. I hope that will make a sense for someone over there.
So is there a sense of past, present, and future in the dream, or is it like a continuum and you're not sure whether you're in your past or whether it's sometime in the future?
Actually, we are saying that we are not sure, but we actually are, because in that moment you just know that you remember something. There's no way you're still there, but yet it's like I'm sleeping in my bed, I'm feeling my body. It must be or a remembering, or something that happened in the same moment. You're kind of aware, but you're denying, and even with that, I'm still conscious that I'm rejecting the idea. So somehow I know it's not true. It's everything happening in the same moment, past, future,
So
present.
have you ever had a dream which reflects, in fact, something that really happened to you?
Yeah, a lot of those.
Can you give us an example?
So something that happened.
Yeah, either before the dream or after the dream.
Before of the dream, so premonition, that's the form that I have those a lot of times since I was a child, even with 2, 3, or even 5 years before it actually happened, and some of them repeatedly happen.
And these premonitions would come in the form of a dream.
Yes, most of them are dreams. Yes,
okay.
And I'm aware that I'm sleeping, and what I'm seeing, I know it's a vision somewhere.
Okay.
Most of the time when it's a premonition about something that is happening in the world, I am not present in that dream, but I can see.
And when in fact that particular event actually happens, let's say 3, 4, 5 years later on,
yes,
you're able to remember
clearly every detail, every exact moment, and it's like the time is freezing in that moment. When you have that aha moment, it's like everything freezes, like seconds transform in minutes or hours. That's the feeling in an instant.
So that is what we say in one of the aspects of spirituality, that is really a continuum. It's not a linear existence of past, present, future.
Yeah.
And in fact, the connection with quantum physics, where thoughts travel, it has been shown that particles and atoms and molecules travel, and they don't follow any pattern. They are random. They may appear at one place, they may be at another place, and the whole connection between that and spirituality actually becomes live from what you are describing, that you dream something, it's a vision, and then something happens down the road. That is truly amazing.
Yeah, what I never understood actually was, if I couldn't prevent something, I know it's going to happen, and there's no way you're gonna change it, and that was a little bit frustrating with me, and I just had to wait that moment, and then it's like, look, it happened.
So that is going to be my next question. So let's say you get a premonition about something bad that is going to happen, And I think you have given me examples separately that you knew that someone, for example, was going to die,
Yeah.
which is a very unpleasant thing, but it's a reality.
Hmm.
How do you deal with that information or the message from the universe?
Well, when I was a kid, I wasn't doing that well, but now with time, when I could have understand that fear is not a place in which I should be and I'm not comfortable, I'm more calm with it. And even though I experience near-death experience and I know how it is to almost cross over, and it wasn't fear at all, it was actually like I don't know, like it's hard to put in words. A beautiful and pleasant and happily way of feeling, and even if it was a short moment,
It seems
you
to
feel like
me,
home.
it seems to me that when we are able to listen to these messages from the universe, either in the form
Hmm.
of dream or vision or clairvoyance or whatever it might be, it actually helps us to get over that fear.
Exactly. Yes.
So most
That's
people, one of the biggest fears people have is about death.
exactly.
And if they are able to see these messages or read these messages from the universe, they will know there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be
No,
fearful.
on the contrary. I mean, for me, because I experienced that, I wanted to go back somewhere in that feeling, and I didn't like the energies around here in this realm and this planet Earth. Even though I was in a lovely family and I had much love and peaceful childhood, but still I didn't like the suffering that I've seen around the world, and I wish I could have done something and helped them. And I was actually in that period of time wanting to die a lot of times without having fear. And that's the thing, I didn't have fear about that. I was having fear actually, and it took me a while to understand about things that I didn't know. That's why people actually fear. They do not know, and over here intervene the belief system dictated by the society and so and so.
So, Ramona, give us an example of so far you've talked about a premonition, about something unpleasant, things that are not so nice, and so
Yeah.
on. How about something pleasant that you had a message or a vision or a dream, and you were so happy when something happened and it was like a dream come true?
Uh, that didn't happen that often. Mostly they are unpleasant premonition, but I had one before I had my first marriage. With 2 years before it happened, and I've seen the place where we will be, and every small detail from that present moment or future in the same time. And I just felt in that premonition, that beautiful one, my state of being in love, um, you know, feeling secure, in a lovely place. And when that happened after 2 years, it was, see, exactly the same feeling. And that's when you have a aha moment, because you recognize the place, you recognize the feeling, the emotions.
Do you remember anything from your past life?
Yeah, I have one of those, and when it's about past life, it's like I stated before, it's in that present moment, and you're aware that you are sleeping, and then you have that vision in which most of the time you remember trauma, you will not remember pleasant things. And when you're in that state, it's again, you're feeling the emotions, the feeling, because that's how us humanity are built, about emotion and energy.
Well, let's move on to other people. Now, so far you have told us about your own experience, what you have felt and seen and understood. Have you come across many other people that you've interacted with who are on the same level or higher level, who have received messages either about you or you're able to connect with them or they have told you about their experiences?
Maybe on that level of connection of like telepathy between people more strongly probably than people actually normally all over the world and everywhere are feeling it. Yes, I did have with some of the people, and I always consider them being a part of my soul group in which I had to meet, and they were all related with something about spirituality. Even they were Reiki teachers or info energetic practitioner or just priestess that had that inner knowing about what is going on with you, where you have problem, and that kind of light workers that I met. I think all my friends in that childhood and adolescent period of time, they've been surrounding me. So my path to spirituality, the universe pushed me to that path, no matter what.
Now, you come from Romania, which is just like India, a very strongly spiritual inclined
Yeah.
and has a very long tradition of spiritual heritage. And in my own travels to not just Romania, but that part of the world, the Caucasian Mountains, Bulgaria, Moldova, and various other places which are nestled and people have been living in the mountains, there's something about the mountains that
Yeah.
people get messages that they're able to connect higher.
Yes.
And I know I've had experiences myself in those countries, Russia, for example, in the ex-Soviet countries and so on.
Well, first of all, you said about people that live in the mountain. I think it's people that are living in or in surrounding by nature more than a city. And the mountain area where I've been grew up had that energy. I don't think it matters maybe in a deep level if it's mountain or not. If you go in a lot of activities and spend more time in nature, I think that bring you closer to your inner self. It makes you happy. It's giving you a different vibration and energy. And secondly, uh, Romania was always magic for me. I felt that since I was a kid, and there are a lot of places over there with high point of energies and like portals. Not a lot of people knows about them. Only the ones that are in this path. And I'll be glad to, set up some group team to make that journey around over there. It's really powerful. I did meditate around there.
So, Ramona, a lot of people believe in numbers and they believe that numbers are divine and there's a significance or a message hidden in numbers that appear in their life. For example, their birth date and their numbers appearing in different forms and different ways. Do you think that that's also a message from the universe that we relate to a certain number or numbers, and what does it mean?
Of course, so not just messages through dreams or intuition or hearing voices. It's numbers. I think it's really important, especially in the sacred geometry all over the universe and in everything. And specifically for me, number 7 was with such great importance because they keep on pushing me to my spiritual and to my path, even to my journey from Romania here to the United States. And I had that kind of feeling of too much because all over I look, whatever I've done, whatever I've been seeing on dealing with number 777 all over. It's like, okay. I'll follow it. And most of the time, intuitively, with these kind of messages from the universe, I kind of took them without hesitating.
So, give us some examples of this number 7 you said that is lucky or good or divine for you. Give us examples of 7 in your life.
Uh, Starting from the numbers from on my ID, my license plate, the people that I met born either in 77 or had 77 in their life, I'll see it everywhere.
And what exactly is the universe trying to say through this number 7?
For me, I think you're on the path of spirituality. Keep on it. We are with you. It's a confirmation that I'm not alone, and I'm on this path. I'm on this journey.
And there are certain other sacred numbers that people believe in. For example, number 1 is the number of the universe.
Yes.
Number 3 In India, number 11 is considered to be sacred. Do you believe every number has its own different message?
I had a certain period of time when for example, I've seen 444, which for me was relative with the angel realm being around me or trying to connect with me. 111, they say, is for your soulmate. But honestly, maybe it was the energy of that moment, even though it didn't manifest in my reality. The energy, I felt it, but it's not something that we always saw. We can see or perceive with our own eyes.
Lastly, Ramona, if people need help, people who are watching this, people who listen to this, if they need help in their own space, in their own world, in their own life, you think you can help them?
There's no negative answer on this one. I can help, you can help, they can help, everybody. We put the energy together, of course we can heal each other and support each other. That's the mainly important thing of here.
And if they contact you, then there's a way for you to help them to the form, in the form of tarot cards, which is also another form of message from the universe.
Exactly.
And
we're going to talk about this.
Right, and with another intuitive reading or healing for you to help them to understand what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
So thank
and
you.
And also Reiki healing.
Yes, of course. So thank you, Ramona, a lot. Thanks for helping us come through this journey of understanding messages from the universe, which are happening all around us all the time. It's just that we have become blind and deaf to watching it and to listening it, or leave alone understanding it or interpreting it. But it's coming to us in many different forms all the time. So I hope people are able to open up their hearts, as you said, and find a way to balance the chakras, make them vibrant, so that these messages can make sense to them. Thank you.
And help each other and support each other.
Namaste.
Namaste.